Oh,
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Joined today is my co-host, Kelsey, and special guest star, Mo, which a lot of people who come to my stream from the Dead Funny channel has at least either heard Mo or seen Mo playing something with me. Recently, we've been knocking out a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. Before that, we played Among Us together, and I don't think I played Dead by Daylight with you. I know I played with Wes.
Nah, we haven't.
I don't think so. Which, by the way, the new killer, the twins, bruh.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I haven't seen any gameplay. I know Wes was trying it out the other day, but I was with a friend at a friend's house, so I didn't watch his stream.
The trailer alone is pretty insane. Like, have you seen what the character looks like?
No, I have not. Actually,
God,
I'll look
dude.
at it.
Yeah, if you want to look at it. But it's literally this, they're called the twins, Kelsey. And it's this adult girl, and her Siamese twin, as they call it, grew inside of her body. So it
Oh my God.
can literally disconnect itself and just hop out of this hole that's in the side of her body whenever you want to. So you run around as this big girl with this gigantic hook, and then if you want to, she goes into this dormant state, and Victor, as he's called, hops out of the hole, and it's just this like 2-foot adult, but it looks like a baby, this 2-foot bloody baby that's deformed looking, just running at you, and can jump on and latch onto your head.
This
while
is
you try to
terrifying
run.
to look at.
Yeah, it's insane looking. I was like, bro, I gotta go play some Dead by Daylight. This is dope. Oh, it looks so good. But
oh, that is so gnarly. You know how they talk about, people that are mean or cruel or, serial killers, things like that. Like, they probably had a really dark, like, childhood or something or past that made them like this. Well, looking at this, I can tell that she would be made fun of. She would not be popular. And yeah, I can see how she ended up killing people. However, how she got this thing to eject itself from her body and go kill people on her behalf.
Yeah, it's like a kangaroo or something like that.
which one, obviously, she wouldn't be able to survive with that gigantic hole in her chest. It's just not going to happen. But two, the description that I read about the character was that his legs are like twisted within her organs. I'm like, there's no way he can just hop out and hop in. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's not how it works.
screw that noise.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like being pregnant forever. I mean, at that point, like, he's just like kicking
That
your
sounds
lungs
terrible.
and your kidneys and shit all day.
Except like when you're pregnant, you have a limited range of organs that it can hit. Like this
true.
its legs are twisted through her intestines. That means every now and then, if he wants to, he can just like obstruct her bowels by just like squeezing his thighs together and watching her be in pain. Like, how terrible is that? And jumping back in after he's been running all over a forest floor with those feet. Yeah, this woman's gonna get a fungal infection inside her body and die.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Sorry, that got
insane.
really gross.
Don't worry about it.
But kind of moving forward before we jump into the topics that we wanted to cover today, I'm gonna go ahead and give Mo a quick second here. Why don't you go ahead and let our viewers know what you do with your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel, so that way I'll be putting in the description. In the description, I'll be putting the links down there below, so that way if they want to go follow you, they can go do that.
So most of my content you can find me on twitch.tv/Mholig. I'm also involved with 2 YouTube channels, my own, and a YouTube group, just like Chris has Dead Funny. I'm in a group called FGC, or Fake Gamers Club. We do a bunch of Let's Plays of Nintendo, PlayStation, PC games, whatever we can find that's entertaining. We make videos on that. We just started doing The Sims 4. So if you enjoy that kind of content, I stream DBD sometimes. Final Fantasy, like Chris says, I'm a variety of games, so come hang out with me sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I'll have those links down in the description below for you guys, so that way you can just go check over there. Make sure you go give them some subs, some follows on Twitch, because that's free and easy to do. Yeah, that's how we like to do. We like to support around here, so make sure you go check him out, show him some love. If you jump in his stream and you're wanting to chat with him, let him know Dead Funny sent you, and yeah, he'll know where you came from. But so yeah, moving into my first topic. OMG, Smash Bros. Did you watch the Smash Bros. Release, Mo?
Yes,
Bro.
I did. We were recording it live, and I'm actually uploading FGC's reaction right now.
Yes, dude. Oh my god. So I went to sleep. I didn't even know it was coming out. I went to sleep, and then I woke up because I was not feeling well. I woke up and I had like 1,000 Discord messages from Nathan. And then Tony and them were messaging me going, yo, are you planning on doing any kind of like reaction thing or anything like that for Dead Funny for the Smash Bros trailer that just dropped, because we don't want to talk about it if you are. And I was like, no, it's not what we do. I was like, but I don't even know what you're talking about. What happened? And they're like, you should just go check it out. Kelsey, Sephiroth came to Smash Bros. Fucking Sephiroth. Oh my god. It was so good. It's like, it shows, because in the original Smash Bros, it's got like the big boss that's up there, and it's like, fucking up everybody. And so it goes to show that original opening again. And as the big boss is charging up, it just gets cut in half. And then you hear the One Winged Angel song start playing, and Sephiroth is just behind it. And I was like, no fucking way. Oh my god. And I kid you not, the ending of the trailer ends with the dialogue exchange that I told you that I love so much about the movie you haven't seen yet, where Cloud does the whole next time say where you belong in my memories, and he goes, I will never be a memory. And I was like, oh my god, yes. And then it shows him transform into Safer Sephiroth as his Smash. So he definitely does Supernova as his Smash. I was like, yes. Oh, I'm so pumped.
Definitely quite crazy.
It was a great trailer. It was a great trailer.
Doesn't he kill Mario at some point in the trailer?
Okay, so that's the funny thing.
Like he does.
That's an iconic, like you can actually find that as a background. It's an iconic scene out of the movie where Cloud goes to do his Limit Breaker Braver against him. It was like Cloud's getting his ass kicked, and then he goes to do his Limit Breaker, and it's like, oh, Cloud's coming back, and he jumps up, and Sephiroth stabs him in the air and holds him at a distance with the Masamune. And then Cloud's just looking at him, and Sephiroth literally goes, is this the pain that you felt before? Which is a great callback to the situation that happened in Nibelheim. He's like, is this the pain you felt before? Don't worry, this time I'll make sure you won't forget. It was, Sephiroth's the greatest fucking villain. He's so good. So that's like an iconic scene. Like they have backgrounds and shit, like professionally made backgrounds and shit of that scene because people love it so much. And so for them to do that with Mario, all I've seen on Twitter all day today is people redoing the scene where Cloud's crying and putting Aerith into the water, and instead he's putting Mario into the water. I was like, no fucking way, dude.
That's pretty good.
Oh my god. Shit was cracking me up all day. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I saw that and I was like, yeah, I gotta go back to Smash Bros. Gotta dust off the old Switch. Get back to Smash Bros. Oh my god, I love Sephiroth. That's so great.
Yeah, I have Smash Bros. Somewhere, I think.
Somewhere. Yeah. Oh, that's literally the only reason why I keep Nintendo around is Smash Bros. And Zelda. That's it. Other than that, I can't. I don't have anything that really excites me for Nintendo anymore.
I just bought Link's Awakening, the remake.
Dude.
That they put on Switch. But it took them, I bought it like a month ago, and it took them so long to deliver it to me.
Really? Where'd you buy it from?
GameStop. It took them about a month.
Bro.
And I'm still waiting for a Final Fantasy VII remake. I was gonna stream that, but I still don't have it yet.
Oh, I'm gonna be there, dude. I'm watching that. Ease.
You might want to follow up on not having that, because that seems like an oversight at this point.
Honestly, knowing that it's GameStop, it's not, dude. Anything you order from GameStop, you're gonna get like 2 months later. That's just how GameStop operates. I don't know how they're still in business. I don't get it. See,
I hate this so much because the GameStop that I have in my town is run by the nicest, most knowledgeable dude who is ridiculously helpful, and like it every time I've been in there, the service and then everything that I've gotten out of that experience has been exceptional.
Yeah, same here.
Like
Chris just has this vendetta against them because of like bad experiences.
They're useless. They're just useless. That's all there is to it. I mean, it's not even GameStop anymore. Like, they obviously can't compete with the times. Now, whenever you go into a GameStop, it looks like a flea market. There's clothes all over the place. That used to not be a thing at GameStop. Maybe like a few collector's hats or something like that. They sell comic books now. And half their store is just Funko Pops, not even games anymore. Like it's just it's disgusting. It's not GameStop anymore. They just need to stop. Like I get it. I would be so much happier with GameStop if they would just close their brick and mortar stores, become an online only store, and focus on actually getting games and stuff to people in a reasonable time versus a month. Like I literally pre-ordered one pop because for some reason I couldn't go get it in the store. The guy literally told me, "Oh, I don't know what's going to come in, even though the release date says today. I don't know what's going to come in. Your best bet's just to order it off of GameStop online." I'm like, "Wow, you really don't want my money in your establishment?" Okay, sweet. So I ordered it online and it came out that day. They have plenty of them. And it took like a month and a half for a pop to get here. I was like, that's insane, dude.
It says I should be getting it December 12th.
Well, that's tomorrow.
Which is tomorrow.
There you go.
But dude. I don't believe that because it said last week I should be getting it this Friday along with the Zelda Awakening, but now Link's Awakening, sorry, before anyone gets mad in the comments.
True.
But I was supposed to get it the other day and didn't come the other day. Only Link's Awakening came.
Yeah, I mean it's such a good game, dude. Oh.
And I walked into Walmart and they had like 40 copies of the game.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere right now, especially just the regular edition. Like Square Enix wanted to push out a whole nother push of it just to be there for like the Black Fridays and Christmas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's been like all over the place. They had so much stuff go on sale. I actually finally, me and my significant other bought the plushy sleeping chocobo that we've been wanting to get for like ever because they had like 40% off their entire site, like all the way around. Square Enix did. That's great. We bought the plushy sleeping chocobo. Oh my god, that thing's gigantic. Like it was well worth the money. Like it's $50 normal price, well worth the money normal price. I can't remember how much we paid for it on sale. But, I mean, this thing is 21 inches long. It's this gigantic sleeping chocobo. It's insane. Oh, it looks
now,
so
when you
good.
say sleeping chocobo, is the chocobo in a sleeping pose, or are you supposed to sleep with the chocobo?
No, it's in a sleeping pose. So, like, the whole little description with it is like a hard day mining crystals down in the mines. Chocobo's got to take a nap somewhere, and the Chocobo's just sleeping. I think I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent you the picture in Slack because it's got my daughter next to it. I took pictures with her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy about that picture, so I posted that to my Twitter. It went the fuck off. It's probably like my most popular tweet. Like everybody went off because I said, doing my part. Here's to the future, the greatest franchise ever. I can't wait until she can play her first one. And it's her with her 1 month blocks, and it's got her with 2 chocobos, the sleeping chocobo being the biggest one there, and then the Moogle that I got her. Square Enix actually replied to it because I tagged them. I've tagged them on multiple things, and I haven't even got so much as a like. They actually replied to it and put these smiley faces and loving faces and put parenting done right. I was like, goddamn right. Hell yeah. Let's go. I was so excited.
And then he sent me their reply with, he was like, Vala-fucking-dation. And I'm like,
yes,
God
sir.
damn it.
Yes, sir. And like all my main YouTubers, and one of them that actually subscribed to Dead Funny here, which once again, we super appreciate that. But Soldier First Class, I know you watch our content from time to time. Yeah, thank you for retweeting it. He retweeted it, got even more likes on it, and said, what was it he said? I loved what he said. It was so cool. It was, we have a warrior of light in the making. That was so awesome.
Oh, that is the sweetest thing.
Right? So fucking cool. And I was like, hell yeah. I can't wait for my daughter to play some video games. Ugh. We actually sat down and watched Advent Children.
Give her a couple years.
Yeah, I know, right? We actually sat down and watched Advent Children. It was so funny because my significant other was sitting there laughing at me because I'm holding my baby, and her eyes were like halfway closed the entire time because, that's what I wanted to say. So I've been having insomnia like crazy lately, totally due to work. Everybody keeps going, it's because the baby, it's because the baby. Nope. I am proud to say that as a father, within the first week and a half, I already have my baby trained on a nighttime schedule. Super fucking pumped about that.
Honey,
already
don't
trained.
Start bragging.
It's been.
Don't start bragging.
It's been, you're gonna be in for a shock soon.
It's been.
Wait until the 4-month sleep regression, hon.
It's been 5 consecutive days. I'm gonna take the win.
I lived with my niece when she was born for the first 2 years.
I'm taking the win, dude. I'm taking the win. Doesn't matter. I'm taking the win.
No, I'm encouraging you. Take the win. Enjoy the sleep.
Oh yeah, enjoy it.
This in no way describes the next few years of your life.
Oh yeah, I know. Especially when she starts teething and shit. I'm gonna be whenever she starts teething, that's when I just need to leave the house. I'm like, all right, You deal with that, JK. But
no, you're gonna be a good parent. You're gonna be there.
But
Fuck
yeah,
that
I mean,
noise.
so far what we've been doing was like, because my significant other's so used to being like, she doesn't stay up late, she gets up early. Like it was hard for her to get off that schedule, and I had to go back to work. So it literally has been a situation where it's like I was taking cat naps throughout the day, and then I'd be up from like 11 o'clock at night to like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then she would get up and then take baby, and then I'd be asleep for 2 hours and get up and go to work. And it was like, holy shit, we got to do something. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine who also watches Dead Funny content, which you know who I'm talking about. But thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate it. Where we and her were just talking. She didn't even mean to give me the advice, but we were talking because she just had her second baby in October. And she was telling me, she's like, yeah, we just put him down, da 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 da. She's like, and actually the other night, she's like, we forced him to stay up from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And she goes, he slept all the way throughout the night and didn't get up until like 7:30 the next morning. And I was like, bet, I'm doing that. She like, I didn't say that to her. I was like, I'm doing that. So I literally did that that night. I made Lillian stay up, which she was not happy about, but I made her stay up from 6 to 10 because she only needs minimum 14 hours of sleep, maximum 17 hours of sleep in order for her to continue to grow at a healthy pace, according to her doctor. So that's well within her limits. So yeah, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And yeah, worked like a charm. 10 p.m. she went down. Literally, we got to wake up to our alarms because we still have to feed her every 3 hours because she's a preemie. We got to wake up to our alarms, get the milk and everything ready versus her waking us up screaming and crying because she wants milk. That's another thing I love about my kid. The quietest baby ever. She cries when she wants something to eat, and she fusses a little bit when she has gas. Other than that, you can put her in her crib when she's awake, and she'll just sit there for hours and won't make a lot. Literally won't. I say won't make a peep. That's wrong. She doesn't cry. She doesn't fuss. I was not warned ahead of time that babies make all kinds of noises. I thought they just made the cute little baby noises. I was not warned about. My baby sounds like a goblin half the time. She's awake. It's insane. It is like when she's going at her bottle, she's really going at it. I'm like, calm down. You're okay. Like, and she'll just randomly do that. She'll be laying in her crib and she'll just start making these goblin noises. I'm like, I'm gonna spray you with like a water bottle or something. Like, stop it.
Wait till she starts talking in the middle of the night and singing. Because one time I came out of my room while my niece was staying with us. She was like 2, I think. I went to the bathroom and I could hear someone singing at 3 a.m. And I'm like, who is that? And then I realized it was my niece.
The creepy little girl voice too, dude.
3 a.m. And I was terrified. I knew it was her, but I was still terrified.
That reminds me of that story with James where it was our first night playing Phasmophobia, and we played until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we got off. And he said he went to go use the restroom, and his little sister had left her doll in the bathroom, sitting on the counter, just facing the door. And he opened the door and screamed because he was so hyped up from Phasmophobia. He texted me immediately. He's like, "Bro, what the fuck is this?" Oh my god, shit cracked me up. Oh, we played the hell out of that game. Oh lord. I hope that whenever next Halloween comes around that they've added new shit to it. So, it just got too easy. I just don't feel like I should be able to go in on like professional level and solve a ghost problem within like the first 5 minutes of the game. I don't think that should be a thing, and it is.
Well, it's an excellent game, but I do agree with you. Like, once you understand the formula, then it's so formulaic, it's no longer fun. And so I hope that the developers are, because they're looking at making a second one, right? Or they just
they're looking at bringing out a DLC for the first one where it's going to be kind of some bigger maps like amusement parks and stuff, so it's going to be harder to find the ghosts, so it's going to take you longer, and that there's going to be actual multiple ghosts as well. So you have to be careful.
Add a couple of like more ghosts and things like that. And so I think they can probably get creative with adding other features to make it more of a challenge.
Yep.
Or you can like increase how aggressive you're willing to have the ghost, meaning you might be trying to figure out what they are, but you've told them like, just go at me, and then the ghost could like just kill you and your whole team before you get anywhere near the
Right.
answer.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I don't know. I'm excited. I was also super let down because me and James wanted to, and I think you've actually played this game, Mo. Me and James wanted to do the update that was going to come out for Halloween for Pacify, and the dude didn't.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have it in time. Yeah, he didn't have it out in time, and it's still not out to this day, I believe. The Forest, I don't think that's come out yet, because it was the house, the dollhouse, and then there was the farm, and he was making the forest. So, but knowing that you and Wes play that, we'll probably just get together and do a stream team video of that, all four of us doing the forest when it comes out.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah, that game is so fun. Oh my god, it's so much fun. I like it. I mean, it's super simple. Mechanics are really basic, but I mean, it does take a little while to kind of figure out what you're trying to do, and then once you figure it out, then it's just like, all right, now we got to figure out how to do it and not die. So, oh man.
See, that's kind of what I want for Phasmophobia. Like, I want there to be a second part to when you go in. Like, I want first part being figure out what this is. I want the second part to be get rid of it if you can. So figure out like, do we need to exercise this? Do we need to
that would be good.
That'd be pretty fun.
Like, is this just a ghost that needs help moving on? Like, do we need to find things in the world to like show it the picture of its daughter kind of thing, and then it will move on? Like, I think that could be really cool and a much bigger challenge.
Well, and even if they updated the UI just a little bit, and the only reason I'm saying just a little bit is because the UI is pretty intelligent that they have in there with just the responses on both the Spirit Box and the Ouija board. Now, I understand, obviously, with it not being like a mainstream gaming company, funds are limited. I get that. But if they can just update that UI a little bit and have it to where, like, you know, you could do something where it's like, because when we go in there, we do a lot of assumptions about what the ghost is. Let's also have one of the things be, let's get the information from the ghost. Like, yeah, we know this is Jessica and she was 30 or something. Or, well, they didn't even tell us that, Jessica, and she's hostile. Let's find out how old Jessica was. Let's find out how she died. Let's find out, you know, that kind of stuff. And then from there, what you were talking about, you know, if it is an anger spirit, let's dispel it from the house. Let's get it out of here. Or if it's something that just wants to have a conversation with us so it can tell us its story, and then it will lead us
to the killer kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then now we've solved a murder.
Or even better, what I thought was happening early on in one of our gameplays was the one with Mike, where it's still my favorite to this day, where he literally was all talking this crap, being cocky as shit. I'm going to be the expert with the spirit box. And he goes down into the basement, literally is all like, so-and-so, are you here? And it literally like whispered in his ear. I did the whole in his ear and then said, yes. He immediately ran out of the basement, threw the spirit box down. I was like, nope, 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 nope. All the way out of the house. All the way out. Me and Mom laughed him out of the house. It was so fucking funny. Oh my god, it was so funny. I think
your mom even tried to call him back, and he was just like,
nope. Yep. My other favorite part of that video was whenever I was downstairs, and I was like, well, everybody else is being scared to go in the house. Somebody has to. So I'm like, I'll go down to the basement by myself, whatever, fuck it. So I'm going down there, and then Mike's following me, and like all of a sudden he gets the chills, like his breath turns cold, and he hears the again. And it's like, oh my god, he runs back up the stairs. He made it halfway down the stairs. I'm like all the way in the basement at this point. And he's like, Chris, please leave. Like, he's that much of a friend of mine that he doesn't want to leave me to die, but he physically can't stay in the house anymore. Like, oh, that shit cracked me up. Oh my god,
that's amazing.
It was such a good time. But what I was gonna say was that in that house, the way that the ghost was and the way that we perceived the ghost to start was that we thought the ghost was a little girl. And then when we saw the apparition, it was an adult. And so we asked a question, but then we asked another one real quick. And the question that we asked again real quick was, did you murder so-and-so? And it said yes. So that would also be cool, is if there are multiple ghosts, we can have the ghost of the little girl that we're there to investigate. And then the murderer could also be a ghost in there as well. that's trying to fuck with us and stop us from being able to get the evidence to solve the mystery and getting him out of the house and putting her to rest. That would also be really cool. So they have a lot of shit.
Cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of shit they can do to make that game better. I'm not saying it's a bad game because it's not. It is a good game. It is just one of those things where once you get the mojo, it's very hard to kind of stay entertained.
I mean, if they didn't want to add anything new as far as functions to the game, having a rotation of just new types of uh, uh, ghosts that they're adding in, so now they're grabbing like various other types of demons from other types of lore that like you have to find different ways, and so like a couple times a year they dump in a whole new set and remove the ones, and so you now have to go and figure out what those ones are like, and maybe they're more aggressive from the start or something like that.
Right.
Would add a bit, but I think you'd still end up like, once you figured it out, okay, everything's formulaic again. And so I think like the game is excellent as it is. It's just not one that like at some point it no longer becomes replayable because you've figured out everything that it has to offer.
Right. And I think they need to add a little bit more onto with the whole UI that they were doing with the whole, like, whenever you're being scared and stuff like that, and you're saying that, and the ghost picks up on that. I don't think that I think the ghost becomes more hostile to the team overall, because we kind of tried this theory. It becomes more hostile to the team overall, where I think it should literally just pick on that person. And I think that would also make that
being an asshole. Yeah,
not
absolutely.
necessarily. Well, the one that's being an asshole, or two, like I said, the one that is scared and terrified and keeps like freaking out every time they see something. Like it picks up on that specific player. I think that'd be pretty cool too.
Oh, that would be neat. Yeah.
I have one issue with the game also.
Oh, really?
I feel like, so you know how when you start the game it generates just random missions for you to do.
Right.
I think based on your level, they should have like specific missions, like, because even though I was like level like 30 or 40, I was constantly just getting amateur missions all the time. I would never get professional. They need, in my opinion, they need to fix that, because if you're a higher level,
you're not wanting to do an amateur. Yeah.
You don't want to do those missions.
I think they should. Yeah. I think they should just keep one. You know what I mean? Like, we can keep one amateur, just so that way, like, we can go and do that. So that way it's like, for instance, like whenever Kelsey came to play with us to do a video, she was level 1, but me and James were like level 60 at that point. So it was nice that we could start her off easy and then immediately jump into something a little bit harder so she can get her feet wet first and then go into it. So but no, I agree. There was so many times where we had to like, or even better yet, put a fucking refresh button on versus us having to trash an entire fucking lobby just to get a professional.
Oh, and how come after every game the party leader switches?
I think that's to prevent one person from just steamrolling the whole group. But
yeah, I guess
that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no, it's definitely something interesting. That's for sure. I would like to see where that game can go, because I love the whole ghost hunting thing. So yeah, I would like to see where
there's a series on Amazon Prime all about ghost hunting and stuff like that. Have you seen it yet?
I actually watch a ghost hunting series because I do actually believe in ghosts and I've had my own experiences. I watch Ghost Adventures is the actual show that I like to watch, and I'm a big fan of that one. So they actually have all their, well, not all of them. I think it's up to like season 9 on Hulu, and that's who I watch.
They've got Paranormal 911 on Amazon Prime, and I just started watching it yesterday because I needed something to like keep me awake, because I was working for hours, as you know. I was working for hours and hours and hours after my normal work time. And unfortunately, I was so focused on my work as I'm listening to all these ghost stories, and some of them I'm like, there absolutely is a perfectly reasonable explanation for that. You like, one of them was a like very clearly a mountain lion. Because they're talking about what they were hearing and stuff like that. And one of the things they heard was this mysterious, crazy, like, baby noise. And mountain lions have been known to mimic baby noises to lure people into woods, like to attack them. So that's not ridiculous and crazy to me. I don't think ghost. I think, no, you just had a mountain lion that was trying to kill you and you lucked out.
One thing people don't understand, like, in Hollywood and like with wild animals and stuff, in Hollywood you hear like, lions just sound like, you hear the deep roar, and people always think like any type of wild cat will sound like a lion. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look and actually look up like what different cats and different animals sound like, they sound vastly different than what you would see in a Hollywood movie. And so when people get freaked out by sounds they just don't understand, they immediately think it's paranormal. I'm fully in the book that I do not believe in ghosts, but I respect everybody else's beliefs because I can't see through your eyes or hear through your ears. So,
Mm.
you know, I'm not gonna be like those people who say, "Oh, you're stupid for believing in that." I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like, "Well, I can't understand what you are, but tell me about what happened, and you know, maybe I can have some information that you don't know, and we could figure out what happened."
Yeah. And like some of these I was just like, wow, the way you describe this absolutely like makes me think like paranormal experience. That seems very credible with the information that you're presenting. Problem was I was so focused on the work that I was doing that after a while I was like, all right, I need to like step away from my work for a second. And my whole house was pitch black because I just been so focused I forgot to turn on anything. And so I'm walking through my house and it's just I have creaky floors. And it was like, okay, just has been enough ghost talk. I am getting freaked out for literally no reason, and I need to just start turning on lights and wait for my husband to get home.
See, it's not the ghost talk so much for me. It's the demon stuff. Whenever they get into like demon shit, like that's hard for me to go to sleep that night afterwards. I'll never forget. Like scary movies don't scare me. I know I said this on the podcast multiple times. I don't know if I ever said this in front of Mo, but basically growing up, my grandma, and it's actually fun I'm talking about this because I was actually on the phone with her yesterday, FaceTime, so she could spend time with her great granddaughter. But she used to force me to watch Freddy Krueger before I went to sleep.
Oh my
So,
god!
as a guy that kills people in their dreams, and here I am, a little kid, having to go to sleep Sunday night because I got school Monday morning. So I'd watch Freddy Krueger Sunday night, and I fell for it every weekend. Like, oh, Christopher, you want to come watch Freddy Krueger with Grandma? I'm like, yeah. And I go out there, and she was actually laughing about it because we were talking about it. She's like, oh, yeah, you'd see you on the edge of your seat, your hands over your mouth, not believing what you're watching, like just this little kid just not understanding, and then, yep, right out the bed. And I was like, yeah, and you loved it. So, um... it's very hard for me to get scared watching movies. It really is. And like a lot of, I can't think of a single movie I've actually been scared of, like even within like the last decade. But there was this one movie recently that I watched, and it didn't scare me in the moment, but it was more about the thoughts that I couldn't get out of my head afterwards. And it was the Annabelle series, the latest one where they had the doll was in the house, the orphanage with the girls. And there's this one scene where the little girl's hiding underneath the staircase and the doll's in the rocking chair behind her. And it was the subtlety of it where I didn't notice it at all until the thing that they wanted to happen happened, which is like the rocking chair just disappears off into the darkness because it's like a storage underneath the stairs. And I was like, how the hell did the rocking chair just move? Because like the doll didn't look like it did anything. And I went back, and the entire time there is a demon sitting there rocking the chair, but the demon is black and it's got yellow eyes, but it was subtle enough where you didn't notice it. And I went back and watched it, and he was there the entire time.
Damn.
And like I just couldn't get that demon out of my head that night. And it's just like that stuff, that shit freaks me out a little bit. Because once again, like I said, I believe in all that shit. So that shit freaks me out a little bit. And ghosts, I mean, if my apartment was haunted, or if when I get my house haunted, I mean, there's really nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. Ghosts are ghosts. Once again, I've had my own experiences, so ghosts don't really freak me out. But the demon shit, I can't deal with that.
You want to know why it freaks you out?
It's just like
there is an explanation.
Go ahead.
Humans naturally think that when they see a familiar figure, but not a familiar face, like the normal standard, like if you're looking at a humanoid figure, you can tell that's a human. But if you then look at its face and it seems really unfamiliar, your natural instinct is fear because it's not matching up with what your mind says it should. So if you're seeing a humanoid black figure and then it just has these yellow eyes and it's staring at you, that your body's like, oh my god, that's not right, and it activates your fight or flight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just also the fact of like whenever you hear about these stories, it's always like these attachments And the fact that like it comes home with you, and then it's not even like that's the reason why I would never go out and ghost hunt in real life. Like, as much as I actually think that I would enjoy it, I would really be upset with myself if like something did happen and an attachment happened and it came back to my house.
Oh, I would love to.
Now it's
I would have so much fun.
Now it's like, because of my choice, my significant other and my child now has to live with this situation because I put them into it. Because it's like, yeah, the attachment followed me back to the house. Cool, let's just move. That doesn't mean that it's not going to follow me to wherever else I go. You know? That's
True.
just kind of where that's at. So, and then now they have to deal with the fact that I was an asshole. So, now everybody was on board with it. Maybe that'd be a different scenario. But like I said, still, I'm not a big fan of the attachment situation. Because as much as like I like the whole ghost hunting things, I don't know if I really believe the let's come over, investigate, and get the ghost out of your house. I'm not sure how successful that actually is. Because I feel like a lot of ghost hunting shows that do that, they don't really ever do follow up with them.
To like see like, hey, have you been in peace for this many years now? Yeah.
So, and then it's like, even if they do, there's always that thought in the back of your head of like, okay, how much did they get paid to say that the ghost is gone? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, obviously it's also, you know, how much did they get paid to say that the ghost is there? But, you know, once again, that just comes down to what you think. So it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, I'm okay with people being skeptics and having those kind of conversations, because I do think it's interesting. I'm not a big fan of like people who just automatically like throw down people for them saying they've had their own experiences. Because growing up all my life, I was a skeptic. I didn't believe in ghosts. And then I had my 2 experiences that completely fucking shook me to my core and changed that completely for me. And so
I completely understand how you feel, because people used to pick on me because for a different, similar reason. I saw a UFO, and everyone picked on me.
I love that stuff too.
I'll tell the story very quickly, but I was standing out at a Boys and Girls Club. I went to a Boys and Girls Club when I was younger. We were coming back from a trip. It was like 5 or 6 o'clock. It was getting really late. It was dark. And we were sitting here waiting for our parents with the counselors. And I look up in the sky, and there's just like this triangular figure just standing there. So I tapped the counselor on the shoulder, and I asked him to look up. I'm like, what do you see? And like his eyes just widen, and I'm like, oh my god, he sees it too. I'm not crazy. And I look at my friend who's very into like planes and stuff. I'm like, is that a plane? Please tell me that's a plane. And he was like, Jacob, that's not a plane. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call my parents now and ask them where the hell they are.
Come pick me up.
Like, please.
And I think we've actually had this conversation before. Just to clarify for the audience, for you, because I know a lot of people mix this up, UFO for you is just unidentified flying object. It doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't
if I can't figure out what it is.
Aliens. Right.
Yeah. For all I know, it still could have been.
It could have
been.
But right. Exactly.
It was just there. It was just hovering right above us. Yeah, I would say it was about like 500 or so feet above us. Like, and it was ginormous, which is like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I had a similar situation happen to me literally like about a month ago. I was heading to the hospital to go visit my kid because she had to be in there for a while being a preemie and stuff. And me and my significant other were driving downtown Madison, and we were looking up, and there was this gigantic silver, it looked like a circular object in the sky, like far up in the sky, and it was far away from us, and it was shiny as fuck. Like it's daytime. So the sunlight is just beaming off of it. And I noticed it, and I pointed it out to her. We're both staring at it. We're at a red light, and it's so far away, there's no way I'm going to get to it. And I'm just staring at it, and then I just out of nowhere, boom, gone. Just disappears. Just completely disappears. I mean, I was like, it didn't move. It stayed still the entire time, and then it was just gone. I was like, what the fuck? It's one of those things where it's like, I hate it, where it's like, you just wish that you were closer to it. You know what I mean? Like, just so you could see it. Because, like, even like, and I'm not going to go out there and say that it was an alien or go out there and say it was an unidentified object or unidentified flying object, because I don't know what the fuck it was. I was too far away. But the fact that it just disappeared and I didn't see it go anywhere, it's like to this day I'm still like, fuck, I wish I would have been closer so I could have actually seen what happened, you know? Because it could have been an alien. They just fucking teleported. Who fucking knows? But it might not have been. So you never know. But
that's why people shouldn't pick on you when you say you saw a UFO. The definition of a UFO is unidentified flying object.
Yep, 100%.
The government, the military, is what created that term, unidentified flying object.
For me, it's also a situation of like, I mean, even if people believe it and you don't, you want to be a skeptic, that's fine. It's like, fuck it, man. Like, why crush that? You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, it's fun to think that there is something else out there. I mean, me and my grandpa used to have conversations about this all the time, where he used to tell me, he's like, you believe, and my grandpa's like a hardcore Christian. Like, I mean, that's straight up against like Christian beliefs to believe that there's alien life forms out there, because like there's only one God and we're the only people he created. Like that's Bible. And I mean, he used to say all the time, like, you believe that there's all these planets and all these solar systems and there's not one other thing that got fucking lucky enough to get given life? He's like, please. Like, my grandpa, he used to crack me up with that shit all the time. He used to be like, he's like, if we've already met aliens, he's like, which I believe we have. He's like, the only reason I would think that we haven't met aliens is just because they're too scared to interact with us because we're fucking weird as a society, and that when they finally do, they're just gonna glass the entire planet and move on. Like, so, I'm done with you guys. He's like, because if they can come here, we can't win a fight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If they're able to make it to us, we can't win a fight. That's just
the U.S. government has a plan to deal with.
I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard about.
Yeah, they would fight a guerrilla war, basically, like they did in Vietnam, like the Vietnamese did. They would fight a guerrilla war, but they would have to be like not too far ahead of us, because the whole goal of this plan was to make it too expensive for them to, capture the planet. It was to get them to leave. Because if they're not that far ahead of us, they have to bring everything with them. So they're only going to have a limited number of resources.
You think, though? But think about the technology that we have now, and we can't even get out of our solar system. If they're coming from another solar system, I mean, they could have, what we see in movies today is like fucking endless fucking backpacks. You know what I mean? Like, there's no bottom to this shit. They can just pull fucking warp portals, man. We don't know. We don't do this. A conspiracy theory podcast. It's getting real now.
The current technology we have, by the way, the fastest satellite ever was around 20 to 30,000 miles per hour, I believe. It would take that satellite, if it was heading in the right direction, it would take them to reach the nearest star, which is Proxima Centauri. Sorry, I'm a nerd. I know all this stuff. No, it's 4.2 light years, and 1 light year is 10 trillion miles. So it's 40 trillion miles away. It would take 7,000 years to reach the nearest star. And by the time you got there, it wouldn't be there, because the galaxy moves.
Yep.
The Parker Space Probe, I think, is the fastest thing that's ever been in the fastest spacecraft ever flown, and it was 430,000 miles an hour.
Oh wow, I got that wrong.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. I'm not trying to like the Proxima Centauri thing is
like
actually
10 years ago that I looked this shit up. So.
Oh yeah, well.
I don't know how things have changed, or if I got my information wrong, but I do know it was around like, I think I got it from like some show that I used to watch, where they did like investigations into science problems and stuff.
Oh, and I was just looking it up because I was like, wait a minute, I don't actually know what this was. So I was, for lack of a better term, I was fact checking you as you were speaking, and I was just like, oh, he should know about this, and that was. Yeah,
no, I'm glad to know about these things. I'm not one of those people who is gonna get mad that that was changed. I like the preference. I didn't do that time, but I like the preference. Like, my information is usually older when it comes to like this kind of stuff, because I haven't done a lot of research lately. Because I just get depressed that we're not as advanced as we should be.
That's totally fair, actually.
That's fair.
I'm like, we should have already been on Mars by now, but no one wants to give NASA enough money to fund these things.
Dude, Elon Musk,
Well,
dude, he's gonna do it. He's gonna go up there in rocket boots. That's our guy.
Yeah,
dude.
Elon Musk.
That's our fucking guy, dude. I love Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Dude. I love him. He's so good. Dude, we need to do a fucking collab. We need to do a fucking collab, fucking conspiracy theory podcast, dude. I'm fucking down. Oh my god, I can talk about this shit for hours, dude. Fucking hours. Oh man. But anyways, I know Kelsey had something she wanted to talk
Yeah, I had two things to talk about. Go! Both of them are less interesting than this, so we can keep on this if you guys are there.
No, too late. We're making a hard transition. Hard transition.
A hard transition.
Go!
I think that's what we're known for. All right, so two things. The first thing is just hella short, but I had no idea, and the rest of you now need to know. Whatever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, take a second, open your browser, and look up a puffer fish skeleton. Take a second and do that.
Oh.
Because it does not fucking look like what you would think it would look like.
I think I've seen this.
Wow.
If you can, Google it right now. Yeah, Chris, I know you can.
Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, that's...
Isn't that fucking weird?
That is completely different.
So what that is, and this is what I thought was so cool, because I looked into it, because I'm like, all right, how in the hell did you end up with all of these, like, this, it kind of looks like chainmail, like triangular chainmail, the way that it kind of interlocks, and if you keep scrolling, you might be able to see one that's all puffed up versus one that's nice and flat, and it's like, okay, how did this happen? So there are various fish that, basically, these triangular things were originally a form of scale.
Really?
And yeah, and they evolved and then became, like, I figured they were like your fingernails kind of thing. The puffers, the spines on a pufferfish, I thought were like your fingernails, and they were just kind of hard hair like that. No, these are scales that have evolved over time to be this weird skeleton thing. And there's a few different fish that have them, and they've all evolved in different ways. Like there's a porcupine fish that is not a puffer fish, but kind of looks like is related in other ways. And there's like each one of these came up with its own defensive mechanism with these particular things. And so the scales are just I had this whole long thing I was going to say that I totally just lost. So we're never going to get to hear it, unfortunately. But look it up. Those are scales, and then figure out how they happen, because it is so neat and it's totally worth your time. And that was the first thing I was going to say, and I just wanted you guys to know that, because I'm a science nerd, and every now and then I find science nerd things, and I have to tell you. But the second thing I have to tell you about is, have any of you guys heard about the weird art thing happening in Peoria, Illinois?
Mm-mm.
Are you talking about the monolith thing?
No, it's not the monolith thing.
Okay, so, I was like, oh, I'm so tired of that.
No, it's not the monolith thing. So, in Peoria, a local artist got a call and said, hey, I own a building. It's at this address. I would like to hire you to paint a mural on the side of it. Will you come meet me there? And so this artist met him there, and he was like, all right, this is the mural that I want. Will you do it for me? And the mural that he wanted, just so you know, and you can Google this while I'm talking about it, just don't look up the whole story or you'll ruin the ending. But the mural that he wanted is this cookie monster holding up a cookie over the Peoria skyline with this, like, it's kind of a la Russian dictator style, like the sky and stuff like that. And then in Russian on the bottom, it says peace, love, cookies, or some other people say it says peace, land, cookies, but it says it in Russian, so it's really confusing. But it's in this really highly trafficked part of Peoria. So the artist is like, this is how much it costs to do it for me. And the guy's like, all right, I will pay for your materials and I'll pay you triple that. And the guy's like, all right, let's do this. And so he paid him to start it the day after Thanksgiving. And so he starts the day after Thanksgiving. He's got a couple helpers. He meets the guy there at the building and he starts painting it. A couple days later, it's all done and it's wonderful. He gets the last half of his payment and he's like, you know what? Job well done. Weird ass painting, but job well done. Well, he gets a call a couple days later from a guy who's using the same name as the building owner, who's like, it's my fucking building. What the fuck did you do on the side of it? And it's like basically yelling at him. And he's like, wait, this is a different voice, but the building owner paid me. And the guy's like, I'm the fucking building owner and I didn't pay you shit. And so Turns out, whoever hired this guy wasn't the building owner. And he used a false number that nobody's been able to get a hold of him on. And he used a false email address that nobody's been able to get a hold of him on.
Wow.
So nobody has any idea who did this. And the story continues because the building owner painted over the whole mural in white. And then everybody's like, well, what happened here? And so it became a big news story that like artists from all over the world kind of heard about. Like it just kind of, it trickled. And then somebody went, and this actually happened this last week. Somebody went and put the building owner's name is Nate. They on the white mural part that they've now whited over, he got a ton of hate mail, and he's like, put the mural back, let Cookie Monster live, you fucking asshole. And the guy's like, I don't want Cookie Monster on the side of my building. Like, no, I don't want this. And so he left the white up, and he's like, guys, leave me alone. And somebody went and they painted over the white, they wrote, fuck you, Nate. And or fuck real Nate, that was it. And then they cracked a whole bunch of cookies, like an entire package of cookies, all over the sidewalk in front of there, and then put up a sign on the side that said C is for cover up.
That's hilarious. I'm looking at the picture right now. It's so funny.
Isn't it great? Like, hey, the mural's just weird and adorable, but the people of Peoria in 2 days decided that they loved this mural enough to just like lose their fucking minds over it and start calling a guy horrible names to make him put it back. And the artist is just like, I don't support vandalism. You guys shouldn't do this. I understand he didn't want this on the side of a building. It's just a weird situation that shouldn't have happened. But people are just like, put the Cookie Monster back. So
I have to ask though, like, if you're a business owner, a building owner, and over the course of 2 or 3 days, you don't notice someone's painting on your building, that's quite strange, isn't it?
So he owns multiple properties, and he was gone, and this was specifically planned. Like, the guy that originally hired the artist was like, I need you to start on this day, and I need you to be done by this day. And that was exactly the amount of time that this guy was going to be out of town.
Wow.
I mean,
so
it's got to be like
him.
one of his friends or something. It has to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does.
My guess is it's one of his friends as a prank doing this to him, and nobody ever like fessed up to the prank, and so he's really pissed off. And the guy's just like, well, I'm not going to say it now. And apparently, like, the police have been like, it's probably one of your friends. It's nothing you need to worry about. But then, like, with the town's reaction to it, where they're just, like, begging him to put it back and calling him swear words, I'm like, this took on a life of its own. And really the best choice at this point is just put it back on the side of the building and let your building have Cookie Monster on it.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, just think of it. You're going to get a lot more business to whatever your business is. Like, think about it. You're going to get the fame and shit from all this. Like, it's a win-win in my opinion.
Talk about fucking full circle. I'm sitting here just scrolling down, and all I have typed in is exactly how Kelsey said it before she even got to the Cookie Monster. As she was saying, I typed it in. So literally my Google search is weird art thing in Peoria, Illinois. It literally is my Google search. So and the first thing popped up was the Cookie Monster thing. So once she finally said Cookie Monster, I was like, okay, cool. So I did find it. I'm just scrolling down, and literally goes to Illinois Insane Asylum. Weird ghost photos taken in the asylum. I'm like, your computer listens to you. It's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just waiting for aliens and UFOs to pop up. But yeah, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, it's funny. I mean, the town could easily do that in a more
respectful way.
Respectful. Yeah, I guess that's the best word. But I was gonna say productive, but it just more of like, hey, if we were able to get like, a petition and sign this much, what would be a number that you'd be willing to, like, let Cookie Monster live?
Yep.
That's more productive and respectful of the owner, because I mean, it is his building. At the end of the day, if he doesn't fucking want it on it, he doesn't want it on it. So I don't agree with the town on that one.
I don't think they should have attacked him, but
no, not at all. That's not fair.
I just think business wise, I honestly think that would be pretty cool.
I mean, it also depends on the business too. I mean, if it's like an accounting firm, it's not gonna do anything for you. But if you were to turn that into like a cookie store, fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah,
just fucking change that place into a cookie store, and then boom, you got yourself a good business.
Maybe.
I have no idea what the building is used for. It didn't say it in any of the articles, so I don't know. I just thought it was incredibly bizarre and something worth talking about.
It is very fucking interesting. I mean, Just a picture of fucking Cookie Monster alone. It was very interesting
Like,
picture with the whole
it's a
Russian
it's a
propaganda
unique,
and the
like,
fucking the cookie being grabbed, leaving the rainbow streak behind as well. Like it's
yeah,
very interesting.
like that Russian dictator style Cookie Monster is just apparently heartwarming to Peorians.
Yeah.
Because that's literally the next poster I'm getting is that Russian propaganda style, and it's actually Sephiroth with 3 Shinra soldiers underneath him, and it says Shinra wants you to join Soldier today. And that's literally my next poster that I'm getting. So
That's really funny.
Wow,
God.
that's fucking crazy. That's an interesting story. That is a very interesting story. I like that. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Good. I'm glad. Those are my 2 contributions to the podcast.
Come on, you gotta feel better for yourself. That was a great story.
It was a really good story. So, we kind of flirted with this on the podcast a couple times now. And once again, I'm not saying for sure anything, but I did want to say it on the podcast because it is on my mind, and I've been thinking about it really heavy for these other 2 days. We've talked about it. You guys have heard some of the cast said they would love to be there for it if we did it. Once again, not saying it's going to happen, but I am really, really, really starting to think about doing a D&D campaign.
Oh, really now?
And I was thinking, what are the best D&D campaigns? One where a DM is just absolutely in love with the game, because the DM is who makes the game, right? I'm thinking about doing a D&D campaign based off of Final Fantasy XIV. Not the story, but the map and the classes and the yes. I'm hardcore thinking about doing a D&D campaign based off of like the world of Final Fantasy XIV, because it's so fucking big. Like, so big. Oh.
I do have one challenge for you.
Yes.
So, oftentimes in D&D campaigns, you build something and the people in it break it in some way, shape, or form. They find creative ways of doing things that shouldn't be done and stuff like that just because they're creative people trying to problem solve.
Yep.
Would you be okay with something you love as much as Final Fantasy VII possibly getting broken, or would you be so resistant to it being broken that you might kind of ruin the time for the people that are trying to do something creative?
So whenever I ran my old campaign, so basically the way that I like to kind of, especially when I'm playing with people who haven't played, like, so for instance, most of you know Bree, who does our schedule. She's actually been in a D&D campaign with me. She was part of my 10 group D&D campaign. And she had a lot of fun for the couple sessions we got to do, but that was the year that we ended up calling it quits because it was too much trying to get 10 people together all at once. It was a huge campaign. It worked great for the first year. The first year was amazing. Like, everybody showed up, and then it was like after that year there was like 3 different couples that broke up, and it was like, oh shit, we gotta start filling slots. So, and
this is nice and awkward now.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So
I will let you know that there is a system to run Final Fantasy XIV. I have tried to run it before.
Okay. Well, I was looking at a couple things online, and there's this one that I'm hardcore thinking about getting. I can't remember what it was called. I'll tell you about it afterwards. But basically, it would be one that I would pay for, and then everybody else that wants to play just downloads the demo version that they don't pay for. And because I pay for the premium version or whatever, it allows me to start a world, and they're able to participate in that world completely just based off the demo version. So I'm trying to do it where it costs as least amount of money as possible, because I've done the roll 20 and it's fine, but this one that I was looking at is like everybody who actually plays D&D loves this one because it actually looks and feels, it actually has character pages that look like they're coming out of the book and stuff like that. So I'd like to go that route personally if I could, but like I said, I'm still in the early stages, because I mean, I'm gonna have to actually build what I want to build, and it would take a while. It's not like we would start recording this shit tomorrow and it would come out in January. Like, this would probably be like late next year, if even. Probably like the next anniversary. So, because we got to get the group together and who's all going to play and stuff like that. I would not run a 10-man campaign again, though. I would the highest I would be willing to do would be 6. I would not go higher than 6. I'd more preferably be 4, but I would be willing to do 6 if we could get enough people. But anyways, so with that though, like I was just thinking about it, and I was like, man, that would be so cool, because it is a world that I know so much about with multiple different Final Fantasies, and it's like I wouldn't use their stories because, and that's where I'm getting to the breaking aspect that the first thing you brought up is that I like to still do my own stuff. So I would be borrowing their world, but the story would still be mine. Like, it would still be stuff that I bring up. So it's like, if somebody breaks it, I don't necessarily get mad about that. I haven't had that happen too many times, but it's more of a situation of, you can break it and I'm okay with it. It's whenever people start doing it to be an asshole and they ruin stuff for other players is where I get upset. So,
and that's totally fair in my opinion, because that's
right.
somebody being a dick.
So like in one of my D&D campaigns, and I won't name the people, but we had two people who were just being assholes to be assholes, and they were fighting about being in a shop. They were in a shop, and one of them was trying to haggle with the weaponsmith, which obviously was me, and because I voiced all the NPCs, and I knew how much money he had, obviously, because I'm the GM, but I'm the weaponsmith. I don't know how much money he has. And so the dude's like, well, I want to do a perception check and actually be able to like, he actually like stole the dude's coin purse and counted out the coins without him being able to do it or whatever, because I allowed like PvP aspects of actually doing like skill checks on each other. And so he's like, oh, well, he actually has this much money after after because he hit me with the whole, oh man, like I totally bought for this, but this is all I have. So now as the weaponsmith, I have to be mad about that. It's like, oh, you lied to me, da 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 da. And so then they start fighting in the store and everything else. And they were just being dicks to each other. And I was like, well, this is not going anywhere. So it was like, we literally started out a campaign, 30 minutes of great like story, and then it was like an hour of arguing inside of a weaponsmith store. And I was like, well, this was fun. Let's not do this again. So
yeah, that sounds awful.
yeah, it didn't go.
Yeah.
And not because you were awful, just because those people decided to kind of lose the train of what was needed to happen.
There's a certain point where you can test the system for fun, but if you're purposely doing it just to piss the DM off or to piss other people off, then that's wrong.
Right, and I mean, my entire friend group is nothing but assholes. Like, that's just all there is to it. I'm an asshole. I fit in with assholes. That's my friend group. But like, I also had people where they would ask me things, because normally in a D&D campaign, I like to have a character just so that way the group doesn't feel like the DM's against them all the time. And usually that character is more of a supporting role character. And, you know, like a paladin, so that way it's like, okay, I can still cast like healing spells or something, like kind of help them out. Like, I don't babysit people, but normally I like to kind of have a character just to be there. And so the funny part was the group that I was doing it with, they would get into a hard puzzle and they'd be like, oh, well, let's see what Blade thinks about this. And so I literally made my character as low as I possibly could in intelligence. And so what I did with him was that he had the god Thorm was like his idol. And so he would only say movie quotes, but they would be wrong. So he would start out with Thorm always says, and so I think like one of them was like, Thorm always says the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many. And they're like, okay, he's stupid. I don't want to fucking talk to him. Let's just fucking figure it out. So stuff like that, that's fun, because then it's like, I'm interacting with you. Ha ha ha, I get it. You're trying to play a joke like, oh, we'll just see what Blade thinks about this riddle and then get the answer. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. So now I'm going to be an asshole back, but in a fun way. And everybody laughed about it, thought it was awesome. So every time they would go to ask, they would forget that's what I would come back with, and I'd come back with some other stupid movie quote that was completely wrong. And oh, well, Thorm always says. So yeah, like I said, with that kind of fun stuff, I'm completely okay with it, because I'm not a seasoned DM. I've ran like 3 campaigns. I'm not a seasoned DM. I'm gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen. And it being Final Fantasy isn't really gonna do anything. My biggest thing is gonna be as long as we're not destroying a story. That's a different scenario. You know, obviously if you point out flaws, all right, cool, sweet. I'm pretty good about being able to be like, all right, cool, we'll switch it to this. Boom, sweet, let's go. Let's move forward. I'm pretty quick on my feet, so I'm not worried about that.
It takes a long time to become a good DM. The one who brought me into D&D, he's been playing it, I would say, for at least 8 or 10 years. Damn. And he still struggles sometimes with DMing, and
it's not an easy job.
It's not easy, but the thing is, I think everyone should try being a DM at least once if they're into D&D stuff, because it gives you a better understanding of how to treat the DM. Because if you're a DM yourself, it gives you a better understanding of, how hard it is. And so when you go back to being a player, you don't have to be like too crazy and like stress the shit out of your DM.
Mm. And well, that's one of the things that I noticed with my 10-man group too, is like everybody was new to D&D, but like one person. So all these people are new. A lot of them didn't know each other before this. So getting those people to get into character, like that was the hardest part about DMing for me at that point, was like I had to make sure I went like above and beyond with every NPC, so that way they would kind of feel a little bit more relaxed and get into character with me with their characters. So that's where I'm at with D&D. Is like next time I do a D&D campaign, like I want everybody to come into it like, okay, we're gonna get into character. We're gonna have fun with this. Like let's fucking do it. So, like I said, nothing solid. Just an idea that I have that's been floating around for a while. Definitely really interested in wanting to doing it, but it also depends on the amount of time it's going to take and everything else, because that stuff's not quick. If you want a good campaign with solid content, it's not like I can crank that out in 2 days. That's not how that would go. And it would not be on any kind of release schedule either. It would be like we would tape a good couple of acts, and then those would go out as like a season, and then season 2 would be when season 2 comes out. So once again, no hopes up. Just something I've been thinking about, been pretty interested about. Definitely will be talking about offline at some point as well, and actually looking at logistics of it. But yeah, like I said, I was like, man, dude, because there's just so many cool classes and so many cool races in Final Fantasy XIV, and just this insanely huge map now that I'm starting to get into all these DLCs, like all these gigantic maps that make this whole huge place for you to play. And it's like that would just be so awesome. I just like had so many ideas like crazy last night. I was like, hell yeah, dude, I could do this. I could do this. So we'll see. Like I said, nothing too crazy yet, but we'll see. But anyways, we're getting close to time here, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed this content, make sure that you like and subscribe. Also, turn on those notifications. That way you get notified next time we upload another podcast. Hit me in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts on any of the things that we talked about. Also, it's fucking hashtag Team Cookie Monster or hashtag non-Team Cookie Monster. That's the biggest takeaway from here. On top of all that, we've got our Twitters and our Twitches in the descriptions below. Also, make sure to look out for Mo's content as well. I'm going to have his whatever links he wants to send me, but most likely both YouTube channels, Twitter and Twitch, if that's what he wants on there. All those will be in the description below, so make sure to drop by, show him some love. That'd be super awesome. Like I said, we've always been a big streaming community, and now we're trying to make sure we're mixing, streaming and YouTube and stuff together. Because I mean, honestly, if we all play the same things and we all talk about the same things, realistically, you're gonna like the kind of content that they come out with as well. So make sure you drop by, show him some love as well. And at the end of all that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.